Sup? In this video, I'm going to rank the GBB26 Loopstation wildcards from number 10 to number 1. Quick disclaimer, I am not a GBB2026 official Loopstation judge. I'm just doing this for fun. So I watched all of the qualified wildcards in live streams. They're still up on the channel if you want to watch them. And I judged them in a very light way, not going too deep in details with the judging criteria. So the videos we're about to watch, I watched them a couple of times, I compared them a couple of times, and this is just my opinion. It's maybe not what the final results are going to look like, but it's how I would rank them based on me watching them a few times. So let's begin. I'm going to reveal each position with a short clip, and then I will talk about this wild card right after. Let's do it. Number 10. Very pleasant song. I love the vocals in this wild card. The top line is really cool and catchy. And also I see the evolution throughout the years of Bronny's wild cards, and I'm really super happy for him that he's managing to up his game each year, which is super important. Everything just blends in perfectly together, and the quality sound wise is great. So great wild card. Number 9. Massive potential to be ranked higher, much higher. I think this could have been in my top 3, honestly. However, there is a whole minute in this wild card where there is not much happening, unfortunately, and it really killed the momentum of the first part, which was so sick. I ranked Mars 11th last year as an official judge, and this year I'm putting him 9th as an unofficial judge. I have no doubt that if he fixes this issue with the really long part in the middle of his track, he had this issue also last year in a less obvious way, but he had this issue last year also. If he can fix this problem and manage to shorten that bridge in between the two main segments of the song, man, I'm sure he's going to qualify next year for GBB if he keeps on evolving the way he's doing. Number 8. This is a tricky one. On a producing level, this is brilliant. It's very clean, crazy sound designs as usual. But in my opinion, it's important to say this in videos because people don't understand that it's your opinion. It gets repetitive. And honestly speaking, I was not really entertained watching this wildcard. However, as usual with my hero, we're finding the good things that we've seen before, which is, you know, the great mix, the sound design, the structure, which is really great, and this is why I'm putting him in this top 10. Obviously, this is a great wild card like the other wild cards in this top 10, but I just feel a bit disconnected with the looper. When I'm watching a looper perform, I like to feel engaged with him and his personality. I'm not feeling it here. Number 7.
Make you go blue on the screen of the heat map. Make you go red on the sign of your heat death. Too far gone, I'm the one that wanted more, and now I take the blame. Got computers in my veins, all my words just sound the same. Makes me feel so goddamn lame. So lame, I got.
Out of all the wild cards, this is my favorite song. I really like the concept. I like how it's filmed. And I like the song above all the other songs that I've heard in all of the wildcards. It could have been my number one, but this is my take on it. The groove is a little bit off in the beats. The kick placements are not exactly where they should be. And the synth bass melody combo is too loud compared to the vocals. His vocals are a bit behind and I would like them a bit more up front. Number 6.
Oh girl, I don't regret calling you again. I worship you. It feels so strange knowing you so well, even though it's been so long. 'Cause you were my little green garden full of flowers in your head. My little green garden, the one and only I take care.
So another really great wildcard by Nils, but in my opinion, a bit under what he did last year. I feel like last year's wildcard was a bit more rich in terms of textures, and of course the surprise factor was much higher than this year. Now of course I'm being a little picky because, let's be honest, from this wildcard on to the first one, all the wildcards are elite. And as I like to say, we are judging music, which makes absolutely no sense at all. So it comes down to musical preferences. But it's here in this video, in this position, which means it's a great wildcard and it deserves to be up there. Number 5, here we go. Funny thing is, before watching this wildcard, I wanted to cover a song called Flip It by Levity, and Rage used this song as an inspiration for this wildcard. This is the first wildcard that I would want to qualify. It could have ranked higher, but I would have preferred to hear him record the vocal part without the silence recording. See, it's always nice to have this extra human feel to a wildcard, and this was the moment where we could have felt more engaged with the looping aspect of this wildcard. Now, I understand that he silence recorded it for the surprise factor, but I would have preferred to have the actual build-up to be recorded and having us hearing it. However, unlike Mahiro's wildcard, if we are comparing very produced tracks with notably using the cable technique, what I really like about it is, for example, in the second drop, the groove still feels really organic. When you have all the hits, the stabs in the second drop, in the second part of the second drop, it still feels human and not perfectly sequenced and quantized like a computer would do. And that's what I really appreciate about Rage's style. Number 4. This one is also tricky for me because it feels like the perfect wildcard with really great vocal skills and a really nice atmosphere. I love the vibe of this wildcard. I see absolutely no flaws in it. It's like out of all the wildcards, it's perfection. But the techniques being used did not really surprise me in the sense that we've seen loopers try this before. However, none of them managed to pull it out as well as Taro just did in this wildcard, which is why I really enjoyed watching and listening to this wildcard. But I was not totally shocked by the originality or any surprise factor. Anyways, amazing wildcard, and I hope this will make it in. Alright, it's time for the top 3. In third position we have this wildcard has my favorite section out of all the wildcards, and it's the clip that I just showed you. This, of course, I think everybody would agree has the potential to be first, but there are some things that I did not enjoy. First of all, the detune parts. I understand that to a certain degree in certain songs it works. Here, for me, it didn't work. I did not enjoy it. Also, the clipping at the beginning of the rimshots loop was a bit annoying to me. And I understand that you want to have some sort of bass boosted ending, but he's putting vocals also on the last drop, and they are totally lost behind the beat and bass combo, which is unfortunate. I would have loved the voice to be a bit more upfront in that part. However, super original wildcard, definitely the most original out of all wildcards. Great techniques being used, great looper, it's super impressive. I'm really impressed by Mokbay. Oh yeah, and thank you Mokbay for the copyright strike on the stream and on this video, I assume. Number 2.
Knocking my head against the wall, I realize another way. Now I don't care about the past, and for the future I don't pray. They want you to think it's too hard. They want to steal your life away. Don't let the light that is gone make you the actor another play.
Alright, I'll be straight to the point. This is by far the most technical wildcard out of all of them. This wildcard is so difficult to execute. You cannot rely on presets to save you. You cannot rely on hours, days, weeks taken in advance to set up the song so that you just have to go and then the song works. No. He is doing so much live. He's using his voice, his beatbox. His structure is constantly moving, and he is actively taking part in this because he's using the RC202 notably, which means he only has those 2 tracks. Looper is taking so much risks and putting so much effort in their voice and their groove, and placements deserve to be ranked really high. And also, above all, the musical piece here and the message is so powerful. I love this wildcard. Congrats, Tioneb. Which brings us to number 1. Let's go. There's always this wildcard each year. When you listen to it, you just have no doubt. Like, you know it will qualify. It's this one. It's this wildcard. Maybe it's not the most original, maybe it's not the most technical, maybe it's not the most, I don't know, but it is the one. It feels like the winner for me. And sometimes gut feeling is a really good deciding factor. It's the only wildcard I've had goosebumps with, listening to all the wildcards. It's also the only wildcard, I think, that had me really engaged 100% of the time throughout the whole piece. It's a masterpiece and it's my number one this year. Please let me know in the comments. I want to compare my top 10 with your top 10, or if you cannot be bothered to do a top 10, your top 5 or whatever, or your first position. Let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon for something else. Bye.